Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andile and I talk all things events. Today you are going to set up the simple yet beautiful Miss Rachel themed birthday party. So guys, let's get into it. This party will be dominated by purple, pink, and a touch of blue. The idea is to have minimum colors, even though it's a kids themed party. It is a Miss Rachel party, so we'll also have a bit of Miss Rachel in the setup. But because it's a budget friendly setup, we won't have a lot of props in the theme or in the setup. This setup is for only 10 kids and it has a minimum decor because it's a budget friendly setup. The equipment that we are going to use for this setup is the kids trestle tables and the kids Tiffany chairs in color white. The amazing thing about these trestle tables is that you can always adjust them to fit the size that you want them to be. So say you are doing a setup for older kids and a little bit bigger chairs, you can just adjust the legs for the table to have the height that you want. So guys, we covered our trestle tables with the purple linen, and then now we are placing flowers. Those are artificial flowers, but I think they're very cute. So with budget friendly setups, you also want to go down on the costs, and obviously with the artificial flowers, they are a bit cheaper or a bit cost saving compared to using fresh flowers. When we started doing decor, we always panicked when we had a setup to do, which is quite interesting because now we are chilled and we take our time to do the setup. But in the beginning, we would always panic, and when it was time for us to do the actual setup, we will be all over the place until we don't have time and we're working under pressure. But I guess experience is the best teacher. So now we ask the clients what time the party starts, and then we make sure that we get there before, like way before time, so that we have enough time to set up without pressure, and then we do that and we finish hours before the party starts. That gives us like a lot of time or sufficient time to do whatever that we planned. It also helps calm down our nerves, so like we're not always rushing or running around. We just have time, or we do have like the grace to do our setup without any hurry or any rushing. And then so my husband is busy like re-scrubbing the chairs. He's a perfectionist, so he's like, we need to clean these chairs. The chairs are clean, but he's doing them again and again and again because we want our client to be happy. So guys, I'm very excited because our client was very happy. She was very, very, very happy with the setup, and that's all that matters. If you are doing business, the only thing that matters is satisfying your clients. So in whatever that you do, you want to make sure that your clients are happy with the setup, and they are happy with your service. No one is following you, calling you around, or looking for you. You just have to make sure that you do everything in a professional way. So you see those Tiffany chairs. I'm going to style them with the kids' tutu skirts. So those are the ones that you see me busy with there. Those are tutu skirts, and I'm just dressing the chairs with them. The tutu skirts are in pink because our tablecloths are purple, so we want to incorporate all the colors. And then obviously the flowers are more on the pink side because we just want to make sure that we have all the colors incorporated in the setup. There are so many things that you can use to style your kids' Tiffany chairs. So I'll give you a few examples. The ones that we are doing or using right now are tutu skirts. Tutu skirts, they come in different lengths. They come in different colors. So you just have to choose the colors that work with your particular setup. And then you can also use tie bags, chair tie bags. You can customize cutouts for your chairs. For example, if you're doing a Batman theme, you can cut the characters and then just paste them on the chairs. Guys, there's so many things that you can do to style up your chairs. But what you want to do is you don't want it to look cluttered. You want to make sure that it looks classy, a bit like on the classy side. So what I've realized with most characters and colors, especially the strong colors like the dark colors, is if you put a lot of them on the chairs, they look a bit clumsy. So you also need to play around with what you do or the cutouts that you do. But yeah, you can style the kids' Tiffany chairs using your party hats. Party hats are also a cute way to style your Tiffany chairs. So guys, let's say you also have props. If you are doing, let's say, construction theme and you have those construction hats, you just put them on the sides of the chair. You can style them however you want. For this particular setup, we decided to use plastic cups, the reusable ones, instead of paper cups. I don't really like the paper cups. We do use them for some setups, but I'm not a fan of paper cups. And some of the reasons why I don't like paper cups is I've realized that most of the times the kids either don't use them or they just use them once, and you find them all over the place, thrown all over the place. And as someone who advocates for climate change, it's not it. So for most of our setups now, we try to use reusable equipment. So like these plastic cups. These plastic cups are very strong. They are a very good material, and we just use them for the setups, and when we are done, we pack them and wash them and reuse them again. So I love them for that. And you can print on these. So let's say you want to style them and put the kid's name or picture or the characters that you are doing. You can print out stickers or papers and stick them on the cups. When you are done, you just take them off and wash the cups. I love them for that. But for this setup, we didn't style the cups. We just put straws inside. So because the cups are purple, the cups are pink, we used purple straws. You can use ribbons as well, or tiny character cutouts. Guys, you just have to use your creative mind. Anything creative will work. Kids' parties are very nice about that because you can go as wild as you want. As long as you agree with the client, any creativity is worth it. Because with the kids setup, you want something cute, you want something fun, and you are good to go. The next thing we are going to add is underplates. These, they come in different shapes, different colors. You can cover them with fabric, you can play around with them. But for this setup, we decided to do clear underplates because we don't want the setup to be loud. This setup is more like on the toned down side because the client asked us to do something toned down. They don't want something that's loud, so we decided to use clear ones. I have started pumping the balloons. So balloons are one of the things that take a while to set up because you want them to look beautiful. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing my balloon base, and I'm just pumping balloons and putting them aside before we prepare our backdrops. One thing about balloon preparation is you want to pump your base depending on which method you are using, but what you want to do is you want to pump your base and have it ready and then start working on the fillers. So now what I'm doing is I'm pumping my base, and I'm just doing the easiest way. I'm pumping the same sizes balloons. Those are 12-inch balloons, and I'm pumping them at same colors. So like when I'm pumping purple, I'm just doing the purple, I'm doing the blue, I'm doing the pink. I have 2 shades of purple for the setup, and I'm just going on and on with the balloon pumps because they also take a bit of a time, and I don't want to start it a bit later. I want to do the balloons immediately, and then by the time we prepare our backdrop, I just have to install them. These balloons, I'm pumping them using the same size, so all of them are the same size, and I'm tying them together to create my quads. And the next thing I'll do is I'm just going to combine all the quads that I've created and clip them on the backdrop. My husband / business partner on the other side is doing the paper plates now. For the plates, we decided to use the paper plates because we don't have purple plastic plates, and we couldn't find them when we were looking for them, and we decided to just go with the paper plates. These are cute, and they just tie up the whole setup. We made them purple to match with the tablecloths, but those underplates, they have a pattern. So just to distinguish between the tablecloth and the paper plates, because the tablecloths have a different pattern compared to the paper plates, which makes it easy to identify. If you are doing decor as a business and you have transport big enough to carry your equipment as well as balloons, a good thing to do is preparing your balloons before the event. So what you do is you pump them and you put them in plastic bags, or you put them inside your duvet covers. This makes it easier for you to install the balloons because the only thing you have to do when you get to the venue is you have to clip them on the board and start styling them. So guys, My husband slash business partner is now doing the backdrop. So this backdrop is very cute for people who like something that is easy to carry, who like something that is portable. Reason being, this is a two-piece backdrop. So you see that line there in the middle? That's where you detach it from, and then you can carry it half the size. This is very versatile for us because currently we don't have transport, and what we do is when we hire out transport, it's very easy for us to carry these backdrops from one place to another. And what he is doing right now is he's adding weights to the backdrop. The reason why you add weights to the backdrop is so that it doesn't wobble around or it doesn't fall. And you just want to do that safety measure because you never know. Maybe there'll be wind, maybe there'll be a kid who comes and pushes the backdrop or something. You just want to do that as a safety thing because you know if your backdrop is secured or if it's balanced, then you know one way or the other no one is going to be able to just push it and maybe make it fall into the kids, and you don't want that. So now after putting on the weights, he is covering the backdrop. Because our dominant color is purple, we are covering the backdrops with purple. So that is spandex, a 4 stretch spandex, and we will use it to cover the backdrop, and basically that's how our backdrop will look. What you want to do with the backdrop is you want to tie it very tight and you want to iron out those creases. So you tie it very tight at the back and you pull the spandex material in a direction that will make it look crisp, clean. So you see we are showing each other that this is where we need to adjust the material, and what we are doing is we are pulling it tight so that it's nice, crisp, clean, and it doesn't show that it is a material, because what you're trying to achieve is a smooth backdrop. A client or anyone who doesn't know shouldn't be able to tell if this is painted or if this has material. And we are pulling it from the bottom now because we want to cover the bottom part as well. With the backdrops, when you are using wood, you have two options. So it's either you cover it using the materials that like we did, or you just paint them. So some people prefer painting their backdrops. It's also a very good thing to do because usually it helps you achieve or acquire the shade that you want. There are some shades that you won't be able to find in materials, but you can get them in form of paint. So another option of covering your backdrop is painting them to your desired color. If not, you just have to cover them with materials. A lesson learned from the setup is if you go to the event in time, you work without any pressure. And this is something that I love, like not being pressurized to do anything, working without pressure. That's my vibe. And now I'm finishing up the balloon quads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie them together using my favorite method. So what I use is 260 balloons because I just find them very easy to use. I'm still preparing my balloon base, making sure that my balloons are nice and tight. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get clamps and paste them on the board. That way it's easy for me to install my balloons. I'll just have to tie my balloons to the clamps that I pasted on the board and hold them together using 260s again. I'm still pumping more balloons because I feel like my backdrop needs more. Guys, don't be scared to use balloons. I know they're a bit expensive, but don't be scared to use balloons because the more balloons you have, the nicer your backdrop gets. So if you are not scared of using balloons, you are going to achieve a very beautiful outlook. Now I'm joining the balloons that I've just pumped to that base garland that I already have, because I felt like it's not the height that I want. So initially I wanted it to be one-sided and a bit short, but I realized it's not going to work for me. And then I decided to pop more balloons, and now I'm just tying the neck of the balloons, so like the previous one, to another 260, and I'm adding them there on the base garland. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing it towards the wall so that I get balance, because now it's a bit longer and I can't balance it using my hands only, and I need the wall to help me balance the garland. So generally, when you are brainstorming on your design, you get an idea of how many balloons you need, like your base. But because I'm a spontaneous person, I decided no, I don't want it anymore. So I added more balloons and changed the garland a bit. Guys, you can't do this for every client, but if your client is chilled and they're like, just do your thing, you can. But if you get a fussy client who wants a specific thing, you can't just change up your mind when you are doing the setup. You just have to give them what they want. But on this particular setup, I'm very lucky because the client gave me free will. So I can play around with my designs. I can play around with what I'm doing because I don't have anything to worry about. If you get a client who's particular and they tell you this is exactly what I want, you can't do that. Please remember, you can't do that. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Those are the clamps that I'm adding to the garland, to the backdrop. And now I feel like my base balloon garland is long enough. So what I'm doing now is I'm attaching it to the backdrop using the clamps and the 260s. I'm securing the 260s and making sure that they're nice and tight and sturdy. These clamps, they come in different shapes as well, and sizes. What you want to do is you want to get the ones that work for you, or the ones that you can access. I want to make sure that these are very, very tight, because that's all that will hold my balloons together. Now let's attach the balloons to the backdrop. Now what I do is I'm going to pull that 260 and wrap it around one of the balloons. Making sure that you have a tight, neat and sturdy base is very crucial at this stage, because guys, you know, the foundation is always the most important. So what I'm doing is I'm still trying to make sure that my balloons are very tight, very secure. Now I'm adding one more cluster because I feel like it needs just a bit more for me to achieve the height that I desire. And then, so those are my two sets that I'm going to tie together and make a cluster. And I'm going to just pull the last bit of the garland and attach it to the cluster that I just made. The next stage is puffing up these balloons, so I will add in more balloons to create volume and just puff them up because I want that. I don't like my balloons basic. I like them a bit puffed up, and this is the next thing that I'm going to do. My husband / business partner on the other side is adding on personalized Miss Rachel cutouts on top of the paper plates. So I'll do a zoom video on how these paper plates look like, or how these personalized toppers look like. So guys, we just added that touch up because we wanted the theme to show, and because our theme is Miss Rachel, we added Miss Rachel and the baby's name and age on those cutouts. This is the final setup. I hope you love it. Thank you very much for watching. Until I see you next time. Bye.